Good morning, ma'am. Independence is the doorway to the opening of many creative minds. To develop its associated skill is like a knife that wets sharpening and toning. A very good morning to one and all. On this note, I welcome you all on behalf of the Institution's Innovation Council to the webinar on Entrepreneurial Skill Development by Dr. N.Saranya. Now, I call upon Mrs. Selva Jayanti, IIC Convener, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, to welcome the gathering.
Good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all on this session on entrepreneurial skill development. I would like to extend a cordial welcome to our guest of honor, Dr. N.Saranya, ma'am, Director, Center for Skill Development, Nehru Arts and Science College, Coimbatore. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. It gives me a great joy to have a wonderful person. She's a highly knowledgeable to enlighten us on entrepreneurial skill development. Kindly accept our invitation, ma'am. I would like to welcome our principal, sir, Dr. B. Subramani, who has been instrumental in supporting and encouraging all our activities. I would like to extend a great welcome to all the instructors and the students participating in this webinar. I would like to extend a joyful greeting to all the participants. Your presence brightens the day, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors. Thank you so much for joining with us.
Thank you, ma'am. I welcome Mrs. P. Radha, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, to introduce the chief guest.
It's my honor and privilege to introduce the chief guest, Dr. N.Saranya, Director, Skill Development Cell of Sri Nehru Arts and Science College, Coimbatore. She's Assistant Professor in the Department of Biotechnology. She's a biotechnologist and specialist in plant biotechnology. She is concentrating on genes having specific or important function in microbes and plants. Her field of research concentrate on uh, mainly on important functions in plants and animals. She is also expertise in protein function, enzyme formulation from plants and microbes. She has published more than 10 papers in international journals and Scopus indexed 2 book chapters. She has also visited four countries for presenting her research work and organized international conference. She is the convener for EDC production unit. Dr. N.Saranya is a CEO of the company Enrich. She has many national and international awards. She has visited countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand for her research. Received P.K. Das Best Faculty Award by Nehru Group of Institutions. Best Woman Junior Faculty in Nehru's Nature Science Foundation India 2019. She is a
PPT, the network is.
Ma'am, now it is visible, ma'am.
So, good morning, everyone. So, as ma'am introduced, today we are going to see about what is an entrepreneur, how to develop the skills related to entrepreneurship development. So, the word entrepreneur is as a dynamic process. It's like a vision to change and to create new things. Like it is in the olden days, the people used to know about what is an entrepreneur, how to go about the change. But nowadays, it is a process of identifying the opportunity. That is in the marketplace, either in biotechnological field or life science field, or in any other field, which we go and identify the opportunity and arrange the resource to exploit the opportunity for long time goal. It is an entrepreneurship development process. So for developing the entrepreneur scenario, we have to be aggressive for the changes towards the world, which is already have an catalytical changes. So if it is an independent thinkers, so who is different from others, who is having a different view of concept for creating social and also for upliftment of economic. So which creates an opportunity to make and leader it is an entrepreneur. So it is a way of creating a wealth for bringing in successful resource of an entrepreneur, and it is also a process of planning. So whatever we go for developing the skills of an entrepreneur, we need a process of planning, organizing, and operating a risk of business venture. So this is how the entrepreneur come into a picture. Now the scenario was changing due to the economic and also due to the ideas which we give as a solution for our problems. So wherever we need of giving the solution for the problem, the entrepreneur skill rises. So we have to identify the solution, or it is also another way of creating a problem with a solution. So that opportunity will makes the marketplace to available for long-term goal. It is an entrepreneur's skill set. So for establishing entrepreneur skill, we have an entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. It is a process and then creative. So how we are going to give the solution? So entrepreneur is an person who is going to give the process like a program, and innovation or creation is the product. So these are the process which has to be undertaken to establish an enterprise. So it is a creative and innovative skill for adapting a different response to the environment. So actually, entrepreneurship defines as a multiple skill set. So it is defined by a number of advanced experts, like taking risk, setting up new ventures, innovation and leadership orientation definition. So these are the different skill sets which we go for creating an entrepreneurship. So it's an risk taker. So according to Frank, he is accepting that who is ready to give, or who is ready to take risk to make uncertainty will give a solution for a problem in different way. So that's why it is defined as a multi-dimensional skills, and also have a number of experts will be categorizing an entrepreneurship like giving or setting a new ventures. So this is how you can go for developing your skill set. So it is not only a single skill set you develop to create an entrepreneur. No, it is a multi-dimensional skill set that you have to be take, or you have to make your risk and meet the uncertainty in your life. So after setting up the new venture or the definition, we go for creating a new enterprise. That enterprise will have innovation and leadership. So that is your area. So for all this, you have to develop your skill set. So how will you develop your skill set? So for the need of our is entrepreneur. So instead of creating job opportunities in future, you're in need as a leader, as a motivator, as an enterprise. So if you create a company as a startup, after 5 to 6 years, you can give opportunities for the upcoming students or upcoming startups as a job giver. Instead of job seeker, you can go as a job givers. So what are the needs to be developed? So for creating entrepreneurship skill, the needs to be developed to increase the potential of the nation in aspect of production level, balanced area development, and you also have the skill set of after creating set that profit is generated, and then development of motivation. So after that, you should not leave your a way of first step to be in success. So always entrepreneurial skill or stepping into a new idea or innovation, there will be a first fall. So to that, yeah, function to be created to motivate, and that should be also a human resources to upcoming all the next. And then we also should have awareness about entrepreneurs and of employability is also growing, and how to increase our productivity. So these are the skills which we have to create during the developmental period. So what are the features which we need? So the features which we need is human resources, the factors, heterogeneous factors and indispensable factors and intangible factors, and mobile factors or the features to be taken for the further clarification. Like the script you have taken as an entrepreneur. After that, we have to modify the character of the entrepreneur and essential components which is needed for their competitive global market. This is how we can develop your skills. So the government nowadays, there is lot and lot of funds is available in the government. Like fund in the sense, what do you mean by the fund? Am I audible, Kana?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by funds? How will you get the fund for your startups? The fund is given as an amount by the government of India, government of Tamil Nadu. That is and creation of amount from our taxes which we pay for the government. So a part of amount is given as a fund to develop the skills or develop the products which is related to environmental sustainability, and also for the life of or innovative products for the humans. So that amount is given to the startups. That amount you need not to repay. So initially the problem comes for the entrepreneurs. Excuse me, ma'am. Hello. Now it is okay, no, ma'am. Entrepreneur. of creating or value to bring together of the resource and opportunity. So that package will be given as the first word to have a different product. So that is taken from a French word to undertake. So it is a French word, entrepreneur. So from that, it was derived as a person who brings a combination of innovation and production to product development. That is known as an entrepreneur. The skills which is needed to develop the entrepreneur is known as an entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship development program is the one to create the mindset of the students to bring the product for the society and also for and sustainable development of the human resource. So that is the word which we are now known. So it is not an English word, it is a French word to be taken as a part of an entrepreneurship. So now the government, I was discussing about the government funds. No? So the government is ready to give funds for the students. So before 5 years, how the startups was there? The startup was created only after graduation or after PG or after their break in career, or that was the scenario. But nowadays, the government need the students to have as a startup from the school set, from the colleges. The mindset of the students need to be changed according to their needs of their innovation. So that's the government needed. That after planning that, there was a scheme which is available by the central government of India is Newgen IEDC during your study period. That is a matter of 3 years or 4 years during the lifespan. If a student or a startup is created, fund amount of 2 lakhs is given with a stipend of 50,000. So that will be shared among mentors and also the student. Students' problem is first will be given to the students to create the innovative products, and the third one is fund. The fund also nowadays the government is releasing through the college and also through the universities to develop their or to nurture their career development. Okay, so in the early period, the entrepreneurs goes between like establishing a new one or establishing a venture. That's all. So need to be the capitalists need to take risk and start a business and go on. But now this process being different to give an unique package of resources to have or to exploit an opportunity. So that's the scenario now. What is changing? So this all the I have already explained. And what are the concepts which we go for creating an entrepreneurship? So the concept which we go for creating the skill set is hard work and sincereness towards the business and achievement for the motivation, independence, being an optimistic, planning, and risk taking. So these are the important skill sets to be taken to be stand different. So these all the skill sets like enterprising, risk bearer, creative thinking, and also have an urge of achieving. So if there are 100% in your class, so now also you have 60 to 65 students inside your Google Meet. But in mass of 60 students, I don't want all the 60 students to score high. So like that, in entrepreneurship skill development, I don't want all the 60 students to create new jobs. Out of 61 percentage, at least 5, 2 or 1 come out with a new idea after having the knowledge about what is an entrepreneur and is good and well. So only they can create a solution for the problem. So you might have heard so many stories like a solution for the normal problems. So that can be happen during their lifespan or during their studies during or from their childhood, that urge was inside. So if that solution is turned into innovative, that is the entrepreneurship skill. So that to be an enterprising is creating a startup, a risk bearer, a thinkers, which is different from others. It's an creative thinker, ambitious, and achieving high more than what they can do, and changing according to the environment. So entrepreneurs, it should not be taken like creating a new thing. So if there is an opportunity to change a while, we have to change your idea, change your mindset, and then you go according to the growth of the economy. And the good organizer to manage, and also decision maker. So these are the things, skills you should have to develop the entrepreneurial mindset. So now you know what is an entrepreneur and how to create the things. What are the risk factors you have to do? So after that, what is your nature to be an businessman? So the main risk what we face tops goes first is risk assumption. In the first place is financial risk. Second one is personal risk. So after going all the things, we have to go for deciding the business and making it as an viable, and then go for an managerial function. After that, that function should be turned into an innovation. So these all the skills you have to go through to give a new products. So, what are the risk factors which is faced by an entrepreneur? The first risk factors I told, financial risk. So, financial risk only now the government is given as a solution, giving funds to the startups and giving funds to the new products and ideas. On other side, the college students and the college studying students can avail, and graduate, the second scheme is graduated students can avail, and third student is those are already startup, they can avail fund through the government, and they can initiate the product up to prototype. So after developing the prototype now, like a model which you have to create with that fund. So that is the government aim. After giving the product prototype, if you give the prototype, development of the business or development of the product is the next stage of your innovation. So that also a percentage of fund will be given, and also the amount which is to be taken as an initial stage. And second important thing is personal risk. So that will be, and if you're thinking different from others, instead of searching job, if you're going to create job, initially the personal problem will be there. You have some personal problems like in your family, with your new friends. So no one will support your idea. No one will ask what you're going to do. So you have to overcome all your personal risk and go for starting a new venture. And career risk also. So there will be number of reasons like to start a new business. Always the first step I told no, there will be a failure. If you overcome the failure and reputational of your failure, for the government, like agriculture, different fields. If you are giving, that is known as an adaptive or imitative entrepreneur. That will be already available. And the other one is Fabian entrepreneurs, so that also gives a different prospects will have to be an entrepreneurs. So the first and foremost is innovative entrepreneurship, that gives most important one, that have to be known as and different from others. So now in present scenario, innovative entrepreneurs are successful one when you comparative with adaptive or imitative entrepreneur. So that the imitative entrepreneur, they do not have any innovative ideas that they imitate from the others, but the imitation will be copied from the innovative entrepreneurs. Okay, so then the business will be in different aspects. So that will be an adaptive or imitative entrepreneur. But innovative entrepreneurs are the successful one who can generally be an aggressive and on their experimental, and they have an attractive possibility towards the practical knowledge. So they will be always thinking towards the new discoveries, new goods and production towards the market to recognize their entrepreneurs. So this is an imitative entrepreneur skill set. So that can be copied from the old one. So which is already available, but the small techniques they will change, and the basic knowledge will be taken from the past or which is already available. So this part is known as an imitative techniques or technology, which is adopted by innovative method of entrepreneurs. So the other type of entrepreneurs or an hello children. So what do you mean by where the sound was stopped? So Fabian entrepreneurs, children, can you able to listen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now where the sound was stopped? Fabian or the before slide?
This one only, ma'am.
Okay. So Fabian entrepreneurs are the one they don't want to change. They don't want to change the scenario. The new things like the mobile phones. No, the Nokia is one of the example for Fabian entrepreneurs. They don't want to leave their traditional knowledge. So they don't want to adapt the new methods. So that type of entrepreneurs is coming under Fabian entrepreneurs. But what the scenario needs is innovative entrepreneurs. So innovative entrepreneurs is a need of the hour who can give solution for the problems. Okay. So the other type of entrepreneurs are the one is known as drone entrepreneurs who refuse or to adapt the opportunities for making the production. So that change of production which is already been introduced and they will be followed like the Fabian entrepreneurs. So this type of an entrepreneur is known as drone entrepreneurs, which will not have an sustainability development for their product. So this is also an failure model. So according to Coles, who was the known entrepreneur who has given different types according to their entrepreneurial need. That is empirical entrepreneur who introduced a new method, a rational entrepreneur who has an revolutionary changes in the basic of economic. On the basic of the economic, there will be a different types according to their changes. As first generation entrepreneur, a modern entrepreneur, and a classical entrepreneur. So nowadays we are seeing the first type. The first generation entrepreneur is the one whose exposure toward the industry was very new. So their background, like first generation degree persons. So in their life history or their past history in their family, there will not be any entrepreneur. They will be new to the industry also. So that type of innovators are called as a new entrepreneur. Especially, he will have an innovative knowledge, ideas, and skills. So modern entrepreneur or the one who is already in the field of an entrepreneur who has to get a venture to suit the modern technique of marketing needs. And classical entrepreneur or the one who has developing their own skills of set. It is known as a part of an entrepreneurial skills. So, on the basis of the types of the business, we have business entrepreneur who purely brings all the ideas or the startups in aspects of business. Trading, so this type of an entrepreneur who always have a knowledge of buying the things and manufacturing into a goods. So industrial entrepreneur or the one who makes or who have a knowledge skill only in developing their drugs or the activities which is related to manufacture. And corporate entrepreneur are the one who demonstrate their innovative skills for building their organization, managing a corporate which is to be undertaken by them. So these are on the type of business. On the type of technology, we have technical entrepreneur, non-technical entrepreneur, professional entrepreneur, and a pure entrepreneur on the basis of their motivation. So non-technical entrepreneur who will be always related to an developing new products and implementing their goods. They concentrate more on production. Non-technical thing, they go for marketing. So the product which is already developed by the technical person will be taken as an marketing products to promote their business. They are known as a non-technical entrepreneur. A professional entrepreneur is the one who has a knowledge of creating an entrepreneurial skill set, who has and knowledge of creating the business unit. So that cannot be carried on for a long time. So that persons will be referred to with the use of technology is known as a professional entrepreneur. He sells out of running their business and starting to another business. He go on creating a professional experience. So other type of an entrepreneur who always creates on the basic of motivation. So they believe to their own performance, they undertake their business activities, and they also undergo for a personal development of status. So that type of an entrepreneur is known as a pure entrepreneur. So those who are already have an idea but they hesitate the field of entrepreneur because of the mindset or psychological behavior or anything. So that type of the entrepreneur will be formed only on the basis of motivation. So that type of an entrepreneur is known as an induced entrepreneur, and he can be taken up the entrepreneurial activity for the view of some benefits from the government. And motivated entrepreneurs are the one who desire to use their technical and professional skills. So that can be termed as an self-defined for their fulfillment. So spontaneous entrepreneur are the one, the last type, that can be created or it is not like from their age of early period. So after finishing their graduation, if they got an opportunity to create a jobs or to create a skill set, they will be jump over it. So that type of an entrepreneur is known as an spontaneous entrepreneurs. So on the basic of their activity, how they are. So there will be an no voice, entrepreneurial ventures, serial entrepreneurs, and portfolio entrepreneur to have and manage and skill sets. So this all comes into a picture. So next one, we have a quick query of like how to be an entrepreneur, either to have a manager or to comparatively how to create a job and how to get a job. So entrepreneur are the one who can create a job as an owner of a business. He'll create a profit. He will be a risk bearer for the whole startup company. All the function will be headed by entrepreneur, and he should be an innovator. If he is getting a job, or if the entrepreneur changing or the mindset will be changed as in getting a job, that scenario will be called as a manager. You can be any managers like you can put any name in the terms of a manager. So he, instead of being an owner, he has to serve a business, get a profit. The profit will be given to the CEO of the company. So what the manager will get? The manager will get only salary. So only benefit here we go is there will be no risk of hearing. So only the risk will be taken from the CEO of the company. So function only he need to manage the function. So what kind of the activity he do? He will be always an executor. So entrepreneurs are the one is a type of entrepreneur which was coined by USA. So it is an company. So many senior executives of the America left their jobs. So after leaving their jobs because of their stress or any other case, they will be turned into an applying their own ideas to create jobs. So that type of persons is known as an entrepreneurs. They are creating new brands for their entrepreneurial skill set. So within their organization. So that term does an entrepreneurs. Now our India, our country also need of this type of entrepreneurs to be created inside their own ventures. So after hearing the word entrepreneurs, what happened now? The to create the knowledge of entrepreneurial skill sets to the children's, to the college students, we have an fashion of creating company CEO inside the campus. That is known as a campus company. The campus company was owned by a company owner. The term which is given as a director or CEO of the company. While reading my personal biodata, what they have told, I am owning a company inside the college. So that is also a type of entrepreneurs. So if we create the culture, so one side what happened, you have job security. On the other side, your creativity will be different. So instead of leaving the organization of creating a new jobs, they can create a small business inside their innovative ability of their own ideas. So that can be called as an entrepreneurs. They have or they believe strong in their own ideas. So they also have a responsibility of creating the individual expression and as a present organization structure. So entrepreneur will be always independent. So here only thing, they have to be dependent for their company. So they don't need to have much education to start a company of their own. Here the entrepreneurs should be highly educated. So there will be no risk of fundraising here. There is a risk of fundraising here. So here what happened, the routine works is creating job, but in entrepreneur, it should be a specialist when compared to the entrepreneurial skill set. Okay. So one type of entrepreneur skill sets will be known as an co-preneur. The co-preneur's works is to couple with entrepreneurial skill set, that is interdisciplinary activities. If you have one idea but you don't know how to execute it, how to market the product, but you have only skills of production a product, so it is well and good. You can be an co-preneur with another person who has a knowledge of bringing your business to next level. So they can create a division with an entrepreneurial skill set, and then they can show their company as a co-owner. So nowadays, the spouses represents the co-preneurs of the entrepreneur who is already available inside the market. Okay. So one type of scenario is known as an entrepreneur concept. Entrepreneuring is to identify the opportunity and determining the viability that can be turned as a company. So that will be developed as a product, and they produce, market and service. So that will be happen with a short period of time. That is known as an entrepreneur. They can create a business and sell out and merge and combine whatever they can do. Whatever we have seen, all the points, that will be a combination of entrepreneuring. So that they can identify a business, they can determine, they can viabilite the product, they can produce, market, and also the service, and that will be a final set of entrepreneurs. So here comes the skills of an entrepreneur. It is an activity of an individual, not only an individual, it is a group of an activity which is associated with and group of the people which can initiate, maintain or organize a profit oriented business. So that type was known as an entrepreneurial skills. So that was given by a great scientist. He is an um, person who can give a definition towards the change of economy and is an AH code. So what are the process to be done to identify the opportunity, to have a vision, to pursue with that and gather resources and develop the product. So for that we have different trials and different competencies that can be and knowledge, skills and different trials that can be done to create the product. So in the final thing of what an entrepreneurs do, have a product that should be useful for all. That should be an innovative one. For that, you have to create or collect the information from one side. The ability of the knowledge which we have already gained is the ability to demonstrate them, sequence them, and give the results. So that can be motivated to achieve one's goals. That is motivation. So there will be a different types of competencies. So either by creating soft skill competency and hard skill competency. And the hard skill competencies will be acquired through the education or work experience. Soft skills can be generated by the ideas or the plans by using any softwares. The main problem of an skill set to startup is initiate and looking for the opportunity to be in persistence as an information study. So according to the case studies, the core competencies was to initiate, opportunity, persistence, information, and getting into it. So these are the important one that can be taken as an important competencies that to be given for giving the product. So the government of India was taken an initiative to develop the institute, that is Entrepreneurship Development Institute. So that was headed in Ahmedabad. So under David MC Silland, so that was created for the students level. So initially that was given for the startups. Now we all have worked together, and during your studying period itself, out of 3 years or 4 years, the first year our plan is to create awareness among the students. Second year, how to develop your skill set according to their minds what they have. So the third year is implementing. The third year is right way or right pathway to create startups. So after creating the startups, after completing a graduation, you'll give us a product development towards the society. So that's the plan of the government and EDA one. So we also have a tie-up with EDA for developing their innovative ideas. So the government is funding for each universities and colleges. Some of amount is given to create awareness among the students, to develop the skill set of the students, and then give opportunity for the students to apply for the funds. So for all that, we need skills or basic things to have us committed to work, the efficient peoples to be in seeker, and proper planning for the future, and then a solver for a particular problem. That problem should be sustainable, and also it should be have any environmental impact, and that also as an assertive one. And perseverance should be there, and efficient monitoring. So we should not leave assets. So monitoring also should be done. So all the cases, the entrepreneur is one is a risk bearer, adapting changes as an warrant for a particular situation what they are going to face, and as a commander for the resources. So with the ability of the resources what they have to build up their own product development, and then he should be or she should be a good organizer as a good manager as well. So if you have all the skill sets, you can go for different types of product development. So what is the difference between entrepreneur and an entrepreneurship development? So entrepreneur is a person or an organizer or inventor, motivator, a leader who can give as an functional process, as an organization, by innovative process or motivation and leadership. So by all these things, the entrepreneurship will be developed. With all the skill set, motivation plays an important role of giving exert high levels of effort towards an organization goal. So a confidence should be built to satisfy the individual skills. Motivation can be described to give an intensity and persistence for their individual needs. So motivating the persons, and depending on their ability and environment, it leads to a particular behavior where the nature is to be motivated to give the product development. So for that, it to be that will be goal as an behavioral aspects and also an innovative ideas. So that should be within us that should be mentored by the mentors of different startups. So after motivating, we have an self transistence and self actualization and esteem needs what they can build and the social needs. So after acquiring all the things, the power will be given, and with all the knowledge, we go for or we work towards the achievement. 1 minute, 1 minute. Sorry, ma. So the last and final thing I have to discuss about the government programs. So these are the government programs which the government is taking initiative to create an entrepreneurship development programs. So there are so many bodies, EDAA, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, and IDBI banks, which is also linked with the state banks, which is giving sponsors for the entrepreneurs to develop their skill sets. And now these are the programs which is given by the government to create a small scale business. National Institute of Entrepreneurship Small Scale Business and Entrepreneurship Development Institute, Technology Consultancy Organization, IIC, Indian Investment Center, and PGDM, Postgraduate Diploma Management. These are the programs to develop their entrepreneurship skills during their studies, and also there will be a program for a management thing. So these are the things which you can take for further development of in your careers. So this is the current scenario in India. So to develop the regional development, to prevent the industrial slums, and to diffuse the economical independence, to have an different levels of the products that can be balanced and also given a solution for a new thing. So for the government also, it's ready to give fund, and each college students and each colleagues which are running for the startups, you should have an intra and interdisciplinary activities. So that is the main motto of all the government needs. So in olden days, we need only one type of skills to be developed, but not nowadays, not like that. So if we are taking as a startup, so that startup is given by a number of peoples. That is, a person will be there as a manager, and a person who is going to give the skills has a marketing ability. So a team of the people work together to give a right products. So that's the government need today. So this is how the development of entrepreneurship skills to be taken. So, children, you all have some ideas how what is an entrepreneur, how to go about it, what are the skills required to develop the skills, and what are the things which is available in the government to get the funds or to get a startup initial ideas. So these are the things you keep in mind and go for the further process of development. If one person is coming out of this crowd, I will be very happy to help you for further development of your products.
Now the forum is open for discussion. Students, if you have any doubts, please post your question or you can Unmute yourself and ask. Ma'am, one question from the student. Please, please brief us some funding agencies. They are asking, ma'am.
Some funding agencies. So, Kanna, you have an idea to fund your projects, you can go for New Gen IEDC projects. Now, there is different schemes. If you go for the central government institute, New Gen IEDC is the one that's the good for the student also. You can approach it. If your college is not having New Gen IEDC, you can go for funding agencies from Tamil Nadu startup. So now there is an open for funding is Tamil Nadu startup 2. Okay, it is in second round of giving fund for startups. And the third one is a minimal amount of fund is given by the government through Bardher University. So that is EDII. So EDII is Entrepreneurship Development Institute. That will be already you have linked with the your college. So through your college, you can apply your product to Bardher University startup scheme. So they will analyze it, and after analyzing your project development, they will call for your presentation. So after presenting your product, then the product will be selected as a final round for funding agencies. So that's how you can create during your studies. So after completing your studies, once you come out as an entrepreneur, so you have to start like MSME schemes. So you go to the website MSME. In that, if you click Udyam Aadhar, you can start your own ideas by creating one company that is a name under you. So that will be now free. So before 2 to 3 years, they are charging 2,000 rupees for registering under MSME. Now the government has made free for all. So it is an online application. You can apply as an online and you can get the certificate. After getting the certificate, you have to go for DPIA portal. That is registering a company under Commerce Department of Government. So now you are linked with the government. So whatever you do under the company names, that will be taken out as an product. So that product will be have tax free or all the formalities. Whatever the new company you have, you will get. So first you have to get a name of the company, then registered under MSME, then DPIA number. So these are the three mandatory things to apply for the fund for any funding agency. If it is in Tamil Nadu agency, only MSME scheme is enough. If you're going for other funding agencies, we have DPIA number. So in our college also, we have TBA, Technology Business Incubator. In that, 1 crore fund is available. So not only for our college, we also funding to all over Tamil Nadu. We are giving, it's open to all. So only thing you have to go search the website NJTBA. There will be an application for bio and also for healthcare products. So you can apply through online, and after applying, they will call you for presentation. After presentation, the fund will be given. So what are the necessary needs? So these are the needs necessary. One is getting your MSME Udyam Aadhar certification. So a name under you. For example, if you're going to start a new company like Pepsi, or you have given brand name, a brand name is given to your company eco-friendly product, so whatever it may be, so a brand name is given, that name is registered under mm, MSME. So the certification will be given under Udyam Aadhar. Like Aadhar card, your number is generated to your company's name also. So that is a government certificate. So with the government certificate, you go for DPIAT registration, and then you can apply for any funding agency inside our country. Recommended
Thank you,
books.
ma'am.
There is no recommended books for an entrepreneurial skill set. Lakana. Medias, you have to go for motivational videos which is available to develop your skills.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving us an overview of risk takers and types of entrepreneurs, intrapreneurs, copreneurs, and how they might succeed in business and skill development and everything you have explained, ma'am. Also, you have briefed about the students with unique ideas can obtain funds from the government sectors and the ventures in order to launch a profitable firm of successful startup in a most possible interactive way. Thank you for spending your time to motivate our students, ma'am. Thank you. Now the time to give a gratitude is one step closer to satisfaction. I would like to call upon Ms. P. Bavadarani, second BSc Microbiology, to give the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all present here. It is such an honor for me. Thank you for all dignitaries. On behalf of SNB College of Arts and Science, I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. N.Saranya, Director, Center for Skill Development, Nehru Arts and Science College, for taking out time from her busy schedule for the webinar. Thank you for encouraging us with your words, ma'am. A special thanks to Dr. B. Subramani, Principal of SNMB College, for providing immense support to make the webinar successful. I extend my gratitude to Mrs. Selva Jayanti, convener of the organizer webinar. I thank all my faculties and IAC members. Finally, I thank all my fellow mates for their patient listening. Thank you everyone for making it informative and a great success. Thank you all.